I think there were more questions back when you were a kid because of the technology apart from anything else. So when I was playing Zaxxon or Pac-Man, I had to imagine a lot of things, all the way to sound effects. I mean, I started playing video games literally with Pong, but if I think about 2600, the Atari as this sort of real sort of launching point for my gaming career, I had to imagine better sound effects because you just had this sequence of bouncing and crashing noises on the Atari. And so I would imagine my own sound effects, I would imagine better music, I would imagine better graphics, and I'd fill in all these gaps that the game wasn't able to do. But now you get to, a modern day shooter and you look at something like Call of Duty or Halo and it's all there. There's no request for your imagination other than to immerse yourself in the character. And I think that that's one of the sort of boundary pieces between forms of entertainment. And they're not better or worse than each other. But music is very passive. You sit there and you listen to music pretty much with one sense, unless you have a really good subwoofer. And I think movies are passive too, and you sit there and more senses are required of you. More understanding, I think, is required of you. Memory is required in a way that isn't with music. So it becomes more, I think, immersive. And I think that's subjectively arguable. And that doesn't mean it's better. It means it's a different experience. Then video games do all of that. They have audio component and they have a visual component, a story component, but there's also this component of agency. So you, rather than having to sort of fill in gaps or in the case of music, apply it to dancing, a lot of it's there. And what's required of you is skill and agency and interaction. And I think that's really just a sort of layering process. And in that way, it's kind of an evolution of film, whether it means to be or not. But they feel like very different experiences. But, the future is going to be about real interactivity and I've learned a lot of lessons from sci-fi. I'm not going to say 20 years from now. I'm going to say 500 years from now just to play it safe. But you'll have interactive, immersive experiences where, the sense of touch is being actuated and synthesized through either a suit or some sort of environment that you're in. And you'll be able to do all the things that you can do in a game or a movie. And we'll have AIs that pass the Turing test, and you'll be able to go on a real adventure with Indiana Jones, and you can be short round and drive around, and it will all feel completely real, and it will sound real, smell real, and all that stuff. And so we keep stripping away layers of the need for imagination, and that's the way the technology goes. It's about fidelity and about getting closer to the real. And we even did that with music. You did it with vinyl to CD to they kind of just stopped at CD, but there's a lot of people using lossless audio on their iMacs right now. But I think the future is really about eliminating the necessity for imagination and replacing it with fidelity. And I don't think that's a bad thing because you can still read a book, and people do. I think we thought that books were going to go away in our more panicky moments, but books are a perfect example of the absolute sort of blistering need for imagination to fill in the gaps and imagine the environments and feel the wind and all the stuff that's being described on the page. So that's not going to go away, but there will be more options and more experiences that completely eschew the need for any imagination and just are about experience, which in some ways is kind of exciting.